That's got to be exhausting. So I'm going to teach you a few things here about working on a farm, and believe it or not, it's going to actually relate to what y'all do in your multi-level marketing careers. You know what I mean? It's like if someone doesn't want to marry you naturally, closing them is probably a bad idea. I'm just saying, it's probably not going to work out real well. There should be some level of genuine enthusiasm on their side of the fence as far as getting with you. If you person, they take the rejection personally. So again, over the years, I've tried to come up with 4,873 different ways to get them to look at it different. You know, if I'm a guy, again, just an example. So if I'm in high school, back in high school, I was very shy. I never had Oh my God. I know some of you guys don't believe in God, but if you believe in God, that's when you should hear God's voice saying, please get rid of the person who asked you that question. Like, whoa. So, or you go, you don't ask for help. You go, hey, Mr. Rotten Apple, I understand, but I know you think this is stupid, but do you know that if you would be red and beautiful, that people would want to eat you instead of rejecting you? Do you know that if you went to a seminar, you could become a ripe apple? Let me tell you, a rotten apple is a rotten apple and ain't gonna ever change from being a rotten apple. That's just it. How many ever convinced a rotten apple to get in your business and lived to regret it? No, it ain't good. You don't want these. So I know y'all want me to go ahead and eat this. The authenticity of what we're doing, that's right. It's going to take too long to do. I guess I just made myself an instant eater, didn't I? Alright, so let me go one step further here. So when you're getting them in, they're either red, green, or white. Real simple stuff. So next time you got someone and they're not ready yet, they're a green apple. If they're a jackass, they're a rotten apple. So now there are less red ripe apples. If you take all the population of the apples, most of them aren't red and ripe. So they're fewer and further between, but they're the only ones that are not ready to go all in and go hard and do the deal. Because if you push too hard on that person, you're going to push them out. So you got to, again, halfway through the equation, you could have 100 grand or 163. Most people, if they could change right there, would go back to the 100 grand. Because they don't understand duplication. They don't understand geometric progression. So let's go a little further because we're just silly farm folk. We just keep going out and doing our work every day. And again, we're nowhere near 100,000. Oh, there we go, over 1,000 a day. That's a little better. We're still 99,000 behind. Whoop-de-doo, 2,000. Look at this, 2/3 of the way through. And yeah, that's good, but we're still nowhere near is the way this works. I want to pause here. The last 10 days are where all the fun happens. But for you and your business, most people quit before the last metaphorical 10 days come along. And if you look at these results in here, or if you let your smart-ass friend or your business consultant, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your significant other, if they're going to analyze these results, they're going to probably tell you, remember this, a man just needs to know when to quit. But if you're dumb enough like me and you just keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, look at that. It took 24 days, but you're almost up to the full amount. 25 days, you're over the full amount. 26 days, you triple the full amount. 27 days, you have 7 times the full amount. 28 days, over $1 million. 29 days, 2.6, and in 30 days, $5 million. Now, I didn't make it a 31-day month because I didn't want to upset those folks who took the 100 grand. So, but think about it. Again, it's a very simple, it's a really basic metaphor. Drew Hansen was great. I mean, he was a, potential Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, he was a big deal. And he goes, it's interesting that some people reach their peak potential earlier, and other people, it just takes them longer to reach their peak potential. So when you're measuring people, yes, at that stage in my career, he was better than me. But when the years went on, he had already reached his peak, and I had just really started to grow. So that's something a lot of y'all, I hope, because you don't have to sponsor anyone else. So again, you ain't gonna like my little projection here. You gotta work for 5 whole years when I'm talking. So you got to get 4 brand new teams going in year 3. And I got news for you. How many think you are going to be better in year 3 than you were in year 1? How many think you're more likely going to attract better people to sponsor in year 3 than in year 1? How many think you can do better and faster in year 3 than year 1? Yeah. So year 3, you go do it again. Now you get right now. Now again, I'm so sorry you can't have 228 teams in the next 6 minutes. It's gonna take time. And here's the thing you understand, you've got to be the one building new teams. If you're not the one leading the way building new teams, and as a leader in our business, a leader is more defined by anything than one leading the way. Not the one guiding, coaching, and motivating others. That's the way a lot of people want to look at being a leader. You want to build a huge group of network marketing, you lead the way with your team. 4 more teams, you get duplication of the 44 you already got on, that's 88. They get 2 teams each. No one's ever as good as you to get 4. You add them all together, you got 104 teams. And then year 5, you do the same thing, even though most people would never do it in year 5 because they would be too content. That's where it gets exciting. That's where the duplication really hits. Imagine having 228 duplicated teams. My job is to build the sales team and duplicate. Have you ever heard that in our business, duplication is the key? Anyone not heard that? You got to duplicate your effort. So let me ask you a question. How long does it take you to build the team and duplicate it? Do you have a formula? Do you have any general idea? So when I was in the field many, many years ago, it was very tattoo guy. If you want a tattoo, get 90 days. Look down and go, oh shit, 90 days. I can't look at anything else for 90 days because I'm 90 days away from a significant result. Now, if you are on a diet, my friend Jeff over here is going through this health thing, right? Just to get yourself in better shape. What day of your program are you on? 28. Now, Jeff's already feeling a lot better, looking a lot better, but it's only 28 days. I guarantee you after 90 days, there's going to be a significant difference. So stop checking your progress every 2 minutes. You're 90 days away from let's say I'm not doing a chef this year, but if you're doing a chef and you have a list of ingredients and you decide just for whatever reason, you're not going to put this one ingredient in because you don't like that ingredient. Well, in the beginning, when my mentor was teaching me how to build the business and drive huge volume, there was only one part of his formula I didn't really like that much, and it was this whole urgency thing. It was this whole making people do things fast. Because I was like a yellow-red. I didn't really like to push people too hard. I like being urgent, but I want to force people to do teams. Every quarter, you build a new team. Now, are all new teams going to be created equal? No. So now we'll talk later tomorrow about the 80-20 rule. 80% of the people are going to do 20%, 20% of the people are going to do 80% of the business. So out of the groups that you started the previous year of the 4 groups, let's say that 2 of the groups go out and get 4. So they do, 2 of the groups actually do some duplication there. So now you have the 4 you started, plus the 4 new ones, plus the 8 duplication ones. So your total groups after 2 years is 16 groups. The next year, now I'm sorry, I should have clicked. Here's the deal. Oh, I can go backwards. Oh, shit. Okay, come on. All right. I'm afraid now. There you go. All right, now, again, I bet my house, my car, one of my children, that at this point you ain't sponsoring nobody else. Because you got 16 teams. So you don't have to sponsor anybody else. And now good is they go out and do presentations. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 presentations every day. 3, and they do 3 presentations every day for 3 days, and they don't get anyone signed up, and it's like, maybe I'm just not good enough for this. I'm not cut out. So again, you can't evaluate anything after 3 days, or after 8 days, or after 12 days, or after 24 days, 90-day duplication. But you want things to start happening. Okay, is that fair? Okay, I think there's few people in the room fit in that category. So the first thing you understand is you're 90 days away from your paycheck. That's an expression, but let me explain the expression. The expression means whatever you start doing right now today, it's gonna take 90 days before you even wanna look up and see what's going on. So let's say you're going on a diet today and you're starting today. The reason why most people get off their diet is because they go on a diet, they go to the gym 3 times, they eat well for 3 days, they look on the scale, they haven't lost any weight, but sometimes, because God's got a sense of humor, somehow you put a pound on, and they're like, oh my God, I've done this for 3 days, I'm killing myself and it doesn't work. And right there got bigger once they won their first championship. So again, I'm just sharing with you, it's time. It takes time. Don't get frustrated because it isn't going fast enough, but it also takes an amazing, amazing amount of effort. That makes sense to you, city folk? Are you sure? All right, that's cool. He said that when most people who become world champions, they just have something in them. That top 1/10 of 1%, they have something different that other folks don't have, that is a burning desire in them that they've got to win the championship. They've got to be the best. And when they do, when they are a world champion, what I've observed is usually that fire gets quenched. They're satisfied. They're like, I did it. I proved I'm the best in the world. I cannot tell you how many times I've been to multi-level. The difference between Tom Brady at Michigan and Tom Brady as the best quarterback ever to play in the NFL was not just time. If Tom Brady had sat on his ass, it wouldn't have mattered much. Nobody works harder than Tom Brady. He may not have the most skill. There's been a lot of quarterbacks who can throw the ball a lot better than Tom Brady. But that guy works his ass off day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And you know what's crazy? After he wins a championship, most people, when they reach the rank of Crown Royale, let's say, and this is something one of the top coaches in all sports said, he goes, you know, it's crazy. He goes, what I've observed is in that top 1/10 of 1%, you. See, it's the human condition to compare yourself to other people and to start judging yourself and being hard on yourself. But I'll also tell you this, Tom Brady didn't become way better than Drew Henson because of time. Okay, like, again, let me do something I like to do in this character. I'll do it real quick. It's a little trivia question, see if you're paying attention. So, go back to these apples. These